Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-3516. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-3516 is to be kept in a locked box at Site-77. When not in use for testing, both wheels of SCP-3516 are to be locked using a standard bike lock. When using SCP-3516, no protective equipment is to be issued to the rider. Testing of SCP-3516 may only be done outdoors, and may not be done within 50 meters of any essential mechanisms of the site. Observers are required to stand behind a screen of protective glass at all times when testing SCP-3516. Riders of SCP-3516 are to be equipped with a metal rod to jam between the spokes of the front wheel in the likelihood of superficial injuries occurring. At least one medical personnel must be present for every test. Description: SCP-3516 is a red bicycle, specifically the 1982 Swin Predator model. Flame symbols are crudely painted alongside the body of the bicycle in acrylic paint. 2 spokes on the front wheel are bent, and 5 on the back wheel. The entire bicycle shows signs of age and wear but still functions normally. When any human subject begins to ride SCP-3516, the anomalous abilities of SCP-3516 will activate. Regardless of the current situation or speed, the subject will experience feelings of excitement and increased levels of adrenaline, similar to those experienced when on a roller coaster or other method of thrill-based entertainment. The subject will also become increasingly accident-prone as time goes on, with an estimated additional 8% chance of falling off of or crashing SCP-3516 for every minute passed. 90% of subjects are observed to have an accident within 10 minutes of beginning to ride SCP-3516. It should be noted that regardless of the severity of the crash, SCP-3516 will show either minimal or no damage. Experimentation has proven that it may be damaged outside of crashes. Once the subject has fallen off of or otherwise crashed SCP-3516, SCP-3516's secondary ability will manifest. The severity of damage caused to the surroundings of SCP-3516, which may or may not include the rider, will be far greater than what is normally possible from the impact, with collision speeds as low as 30 km per hour releasing upwards of 22,000 newtons. Impacted objects will also show decreased stability, breaking under forces that they would normally withstand. The final aspect of SCP-3516's anomalous abilities concern any injuries sustained by the rider over the course of the crash. The severity of the injuries, including those extrapolated upon by the secondary ability of SCP-3516, is effectively inverted. The wounds that would normally be life-threatening or fatal will instead seem to have no effect on the subject's health and may be easily recuperated from. Small or minor wounds, however, will prove to be devastating, with a skinned knee being sufficient to knock the subject unconscious and taking weeks of intense care to heal. If the subject managed to sustain no injuries over the course of the crash, no anomalous abilities will activate. SCP-3516 Testing Log. Test: SCP-3516-12. Subjects: D-1033-4. Experiment Director: Dr. Sombre. Procedure: D-1033-4 is equipped with a bicycle helmet and is instructed to ride SCP-3516 into a concrete wall. Observed impact speed is 28 km per hour. Experiment is overviewed by Dr. Sombre. Results: the front tire of SCP-3516 lodges 13 centimeters deep into the wall, and D-1033-4 is bucked head first over the handlebars and into the wall, where the helmet splits in two and D-1033-4 shatters 2 vertebrae, suffers several skull fractures and a ruptured trachea. After 8 seconds, subject stands up and complains of dizziness. Full recovery is made in 20 hours after subject is issued a single bandage and a mild painkiller. Test: SCP-3516-17. Subjects: D-12708. Experiment Director: Researcher Pazzarelli. Procedure: D-12708 is instructed to ride SCP-3516 off of an 8-meter drop onto a concrete surface. D-12708 is not issued any protective equipment, as doing so has proven futile. Results: upon impact, SCP-3516 bounces roughly 20 meters and injures researcher Passarelli, dislodging SCP-12708 in the process. The left arm and leg of D-12708 are dislocated upon impact, and 2 toes are broken. D-12708 reports reduced feelings of discomfort and pain while injured and during the relocation process. Broken toes heal over the course of 4 days. Notes: I'm making changes to the containment procedures. One of the pedals knocked out 3 of my teeth. Researcher Passarelli. Test 3516-20. Subjects: D-10980 and Agent. Experiment Director, Dr. Procedure: D-10980 is instructed to ride SCP-3516 in a straight line. As she is doing so, Agent is to shoot D-10980 in the leg with a sniper rifle. Results: D-10980 is successfully shot and falls off of SCP-3516. The injuries sustained from the crash are easily treated, but the gunshot wound shows no anomalous properties. Notes: this confirms that SCP-3516's effects only apply to the injuries sustained in the crash, or at least those caused by riding it. Shame, otherwise we could have potentially used it to facilitate healing by purposely injuring prior patients, as stupid as that sounds. Dr. Test: SCP-3516-21. Subjects: D-200-39. Experiment Director, Dr. Procedure: SCP-239 is instructed to ride SCP-3516 in a straight line. While doing this, they will pass over several buried high-yield landmines. D-239 has not been informed of the landmines. Results: the landmines are successfully detonated. SCP-3516 is not damaged aside from slight degradation of the paint, and D-239 is blown into multiple pieces. However, each individual piece of D-239 did not die, and were able to be surgically joined together again. Afterwards, D-239 did not show any lingering anomalous abilities. Notes: that was gruesome, but easily the most impressive demonstration of SCP-3516's abilities to date. There may not be an upper limit to the level of damage it can invert, as long as SCP-3516 is mostly responsible for causing it. Even the portions of D-239's body we couldn't recover regenerated once the rest were assembled. Dr. Test: SCP-3516-28. Subjects: D-10802. Experiment Director, Researcher. Procedure: D-10802 is to ride SCP-3516 past a pricker bush. Results: as D-10802 bikes past, a single thorn grazes his leg, leaving a small scratch. D-10802 immediately expires. Autopsy reveals the cause of death as simultaneous cessation of all bodily functions. Notes: and here we see the opposite end of the spectrum. Research. Test: SCP-3516-33. Subjects: D-100-65. Experiment Director, Researcher. Procedure: D-165, while riding SCP-3516, is dropped out of an aeroplane at Kilometers. Results. Notes: Jesus Christ. Researcher. Recovery: SCP-3516 was brought to the Foundation's attention and subsequently recovered on 4/15/2002 when a terrorist thought to be operating alongside rode SCP-3516 into the middle of the freeway, resulting in casualties and fatalities. While this normally would not have been enough to warrant further investigation, eyewitnesses reports of a man reattaching several severed limbs before biking out of the crater caused by a gas tanker exploding, seemingly perfectly unharmed. Field agents gave pursuit, following the trail of destruction caused by SCP-3516's effects, and SCP-3516 was eventually secured when the rider suffered a slight scrape from a pebble being kicked up towards their face by the tires, and subsequently expired. Class C amnestics were issued to aid in cover-up, and the damage was explained to have been caused by a string of terrorist bombings. This concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye. I would like to give a special thank you to Zargaran, Professor Puffer, The Morrigan, Ritalius, Karim El Ashmoui, Nicholas Hayes, Gav, the Clumsy Containment Specialist, Spooky Aqua, Jebby, Pure Osmium, Sio Deodemnatus, Revenant, Brian Sanchez, Matthew Gilmore, Eric Corbidge, Longinus, Carcass Dethaqua, James Saba, and NJ Vojak. If you would like a special thank you at the end of each of my videos, and some other cool stuff as well, visit patreon.com/TheVolgun. Thank you.